Which of the following is okay to find in the air brake system? A. Oil. B. Air. C. Water. D. All of the above. Answer B. The air brake system is designed to use compressed air to operate the braking mechanisms in large vehicles, such as trucks and buses. Therefore, finding air in the air brake system is normal and necessary for proper operation. Oil and water, however, are contaminants that can negatively impact the performance and safety of the air brake system. Air loss in a single vehicle, not a combination unit, should not be more than, with the engine off and the brakes on, A. 1 psi in 30 seconds. B. 1 psi in 1 minute. C. 2 psi in 45 seconds. D. 3 psi in 1 minute. Answer D. For a single vehicle, not a combination unit, the air loss rate should not be more than 3 psi in 1 minute with the engine off and the brakes applied. This is a standard used to ensure the air brake system is functioning properly and maintaining adequate pressure for safe operation. If the air loss rate exceeds this limit, it may indicate a leak or other issue that needs to be addressed. The vehicle must have a warning device, which comes on when the air pressure in the service air tanks falls below A. 40 psi. B. 50 psi. C. 60 psi. D. 80 psi. Answer C. The vehicle must have a warning device, typically a low air pressure warning light or buzzer, that activates when the air pressure in the service air tanks falls below 60 psi. This warning is essential to alert the driver of potentially unsafe operating conditions, as the air brake system relies on sufficient air pressure to function properly. If the air system should develop a leak, what will keep air in the air tanks? A. The governor. B. The tractor protection valve. C. The emergency relay valve. D. The one-way check valve. The one-way check valve is designed to keep air in the air tanks if the air system develops a leak. The check valve allows air to flow in one direction, from the compressor to the air tanks, and prevents the air from flowing back out of the tanks. This helps maintain air pressure in the system, even if a leak occurs elsewhere. Which brake system applies and releases the brakes when the driver uses the brake pedal? A. The emergency brake system. B. The service brake system. C. The parking brake system. D. None of the above. The service brake system applies and releases the brakes when the driver uses the brake pedal. It is the primary brake system used during normal driving situations to slow down or stop the vehicle. The emergency and parking brake systems serve different purposes and are not directly controlled by the brake pedal. When using the parking brakes or emergency brakes, what type of pressure is being used? A. Fluid pressure. B. Spring pressure. C. Air pressure. D. Any of the above. Answer B. Spring pressure. When using the parking brakes or emergency brakes, spring pressure is being used to apply the brakes. In these systems, powerful springs are used to apply the brakes when air pressure is either intentionally released, for parking brakes, or lost due to a failure in the air brake system, for emergency brakes. These spring-applied brakes provide an additional level of safety and control when the normal service brakes are not in use or if there is a loss of air pressure in the system. Air brake-equipped vehicles must have A. At least 3 air tanks. B. A hydraulic braking system, in case the air system fails. C. An air pressure gauge, to show the pressure available for braking. D. An air application gauge, to show air used by the brake chambers for braking. Answer C. Air brake-equipped vehicles must have an air pressure gauge to show the pressure available for braking. This gauge is essential for the driver to monitor the air pressure in the system, ensuring it remains within safe and operational levels. Proper air pressure is critical for the effective and safe functioning of an air brake system. Which of the following statements about brakes is true? A. The heavier a vehicle or the faster it is moving, the more heat the brakes have to absorb to stop it. B. Brakes have more stopping power when they get very hot. C. Brake drums cool very quickly. D. All of the above. Answer A. The statement the heavier a vehicle or the faster it is moving, the more heat the brakes have to absorb to stop it is true. When a vehicle is braking, its kinetic energy is converted into heat through friction between the brake components. Heavier vehicles and those moving at higher speeds have more kinetic energy, which means the brakes have to absorb more heat to bring the vehicle to a stop. This is why it is important to manage braking appropriately, particularly for large vehicles, to avoid excessive heat buildup and potential brake fade or failure. 3 different systems are found on modern air brake systems: service brakes, parking brakes, and A. Emergency brakes. B. Foot brakes. C. S-cam brakes. D. Drum brakes. Answer A. Emergency brakes. Modern air brake systems typically have 3 different systems: service brakes, parking brakes, and emergency brakes. Service brakes are the primary brakes used during normal driving to slow down or stop the vehicle. Parking brakes are used to secure the vehicle when it is parked. Emergency brakes come into play if there is a failure in the air brake system, such as a loss of air pressure, providing an additional level of safety and control. The purpose of engine retarders is to A. Provide emergency brakes. B. Help slow the vehicle while driving and reduce brake wear. C. Apply extra braking power to the non-drive axles. D. Help prevent skids and slides. Answer B. The purpose of engine retarders, also known as engine brakes or exhaust brakes, is to help slow the vehicle while driving and reduce brake wear. Engine retarders work by creating resistance within the engine, which in turn helps slow the vehicle down without using the service brakes. This can be especially beneficial for large vehicles or those traveling downhill, as it can help prevent excessive heat buildup in the braking system and prolong the life of the brakes. To use the stab braking technique during emergency braking, you A. Pump the brake pedal rapidly and lightly. B. Brake hard with the pedal until the wheels lock, then get off the brakes until the wheels begin to roll again. C. Brake hard with the pedal until the wheels lock, then get off the brakes for as long as the wheels were locked. D. Brake hard with the pedal and hand valve until you stop. Answer B. The stab braking technique, used during emergency braking, involves braking hard with the pedal until the wheels lock, and then releasing the brakes until the wheels begin to roll again. This technique helps to maintain some control of the vehicle during a hard braking situation while still maximizing the braking power. However, it is important to note that modern vehicles equipped with anti-lock braking systems, ABS, should not use the stab braking technique, as ABS is designed to prevent wheel lockup and provide maximum braking efficiency without needing to manually pump the brakes. If your vehicle has an alcohol evaporator, it's fair to A. Get rid of alcohol that condenses in the air tanks. B. Let the driver skip the daily tank draining. C. Increase tank pressure the way superchargers boost engines. D. Reduce the risk of ice in the air brake valves in cold weather. Answer D. If your vehicle has an alcohol evaporator, its purpose is to reduce the risk of ice forming in the air brake valves in cold weather. The alcohol evaporator introduces alcohol into the air brake system, which helps to lower the freezing point of any moisture present in the system. This helps prevent ice formation, which could interfere with the proper operation of the air brake system. The air supply pressure gauge shows the driver how much pressure A. has been used in this trip. B. is available in the air tanks. C. is being sent to the brake chambers. D. none of the above. Answer B. The air supply pressure gauge shows the driver how much air pressure is available in the air tanks. Monitoring the air pressure in the system is important, as it ensures the air brake system remains within safe and operational levels. Sufficient air pressure is critical for the effective and safe functioning of an air brake system. The most common type of foundation brake found on heavy commercial motor vehicles is A. Disc, B. Wedge and drum, C. S-cam drum, D. None of the above. Answer C. S-cam drum. The most common type of foundation brake found on heavy commercial motor vehicles is the S-cam drum brake. This type of brake system uses an S-shaped camshaft to push brake shoes against the inside of a brake drum, creating the friction necessary to slow or stop the vehicle. While other types of foundation brakes, such as disc brakes, are also used on commercial vehicles, S-cam drum brakes remain the most prevalent due to their cost-effectiveness and durability. How do you check the free play and manual slack adjusters? A. Stop on level ground and apply the emergency brakes. B. Park on level ground, chalk wheels, release the parking brakes and pull slack adjusters. C. Park on level ground and drain off air pressure before making adjustments. D. Apply the service brakes by hand at the brake chambers and watch the slack adjusters move. Answer B. To check the free play and manual slack adjusters, you should follow these steps. 1. Park on level ground. 2. Chalk the wheels to prevent the vehicle from moving. 3. Release the parking brakes. 4. Manually pull on the slack adjusters to check for excessive free play or movement. Excessive free play in the slack adjusters may indicate that they need adjustment to ensure proper and safe brake operation. Which of the following answers is most correct about brake use on a long and steep downgrade? I use the braking effects of the engine, and when the vehicle speed reaches the safe speed, apply brakes firmly until vehicle speed is reduced to approximately 5 miles per hour below safe speed. B. Use stab braking. C. Use only the trailer brakes to maintain safe speed. D. Apply brakes when the vehicle speed reaches 5 miles per hour over safe speed and then release when speed of vehicle is back at the safe speed. Answer A. On a long and steep downgrade, it is best to use the braking effects of the engine, such as engine braking or an engine retarder. When the vehicle speed reaches the safe speed, apply the brakes firmly until the vehicle speed is reduced to approximately 5 miles per hour below the safe speed, then release the brakes. This approach helps to manage the vehicle speed while minimizing the risk of overheating the brakes, which could lead to brake fade or failure. When a failure occurs in the service brake system, the system you need to use to stop the vehicle is the A. Parking brake system, B. Emergency brake system, C. Drum brake system, D. Hand brake system. Answer B. When a failure occurs in the service brake system, the system you need to use to stop the vehicle is the emergency brake system. Emergency brakes are designed to provide an additional level of safety and control in case of a failure in the primary service brake system, such as a loss of air pressure. These brakes are typically spring-applied and activated automatically when a certain level of air pressure loss is detected. If your truck or bus has dual parking control valves, you can use pressure from a separate tank to A. Release the emergency brakes to move a short distance. B. Apply more brake pressure for stopping if the main tank is getting low. C. Stay parked without using up service air pressure. D. Balance the service brake system while you drive. Answer A. If your truck or bus has dual parking control valves, you can use pressure from a separate tank to release the emergency brakes, allowing you to move a short distance. This can be useful in situations where you need to reposition the vehicle or move it slightly without fully engaging the entire air brake system. However, this should only be done when necessary and for very short distances, as driving without the full functionality of the service brakes can be dangerous. The air compressor governor controls. I. The RPMs of the air compressor. B. Whether the compressor is in good condition. C. Air pressure applied to the brakes. D. When the compressor will pump air into the storage tanks. Answer, D. The air compressor governor controls when the compressor will pump air into the storage tanks. The governor monitors the air pressure in the tanks and activates the compressor when the pressure drops below a predetermined level, cut-in pressure. It also deactivates the compressor when the pressure reaches a predetermined maximum level, cut-out pressure. This ensures that the air brake system maintains an adequate and safe air pressure range for proper operation. When you have to make a quick emergency stop, you should brake in a way that allows you to A. Steer hard while braking hard. B. Use the full power of the brakes and lock them. C. Continue in a straight line and maintain steering control. D. Burn up the handbrake first. Answer, C. When you have to make a quick emergency stop, you should brake in a way that allows you to continue in a straight line and maintain steering control. This helps to avoid losing control of the vehicle, which could result in a skid, jackknife, or collision. For vehicles equipped with anti-lock braking systems, ABS, this means applying firm and continuous pressure on the brake pedal without pumping the brakes. For vehicles without ABS, use a control braking technique, such as stab braking or threshold braking, to avoid locking the wheels while still maximizing braking power. What turns on the electrical stop light switch in an air brake system? A. Spring pressure. B. Hydraulic pressure. C. Air pressure. D. The driver. Answer, C. In an air brake system, the electrical stop light switch is turned on by air pressure. When the driver applies the brakes, air pressure is sent to the brake chambers, which activates the braking mechanism. This increase in air pressure also triggers the stop light switch, causing the brake lights to illuminate at the rear of the vehicle, signaling to other drivers that the vehicle is slowing down or stopping. In air brake equipped vehicles, you use the parking brake when A. Slowing down. B. As little as possible. C. Whenever you park the vehicle. D. Only during pre-trip and post-trip inspections. Answer, C. In air brake equipped vehicles, you use the parking brakes whenever you park the vehicle. Parking brakes help to secure the vehicle in place and prevent it from rolling when it is parked. It is important to engage the parking brakes every time you park your vehicle to ensure safety and prevent unintended movement. What will determine how effectively the spring emergency brakes or the parking brakes work? A. The condition of the service brakes. B. This can only be tested by trained brake service professionals. C. The adjustment of the service brakes. D. Braking power will increase when the service brakes are hot. Answer, C. How effectively the spring emergency brakes or the parking brakes work will be determined by the adjustment of the service brakes. Properly adjusted service brakes are crucial for the efficient functioning of the parking and emergency brakes. If the service brakes are not adjusted correctly, the spring brakes may not provide the intended braking force, which could compromise the safety and stability of the vehicle when parked or during an emergency braking situation. The brake pedal. I. Is the main control in the system. B. Can be a footrest during normal driving. C. Controls the air pressure applied to operate the brakes. D. Exerts force on the slack adjusters by rods and connectors. Answer, C. The brake pedal, also known as the foot valve or treadle valve, controls the air pressure applied to operate the brakes in an air brake system. When the driver presses the brake pedal, air pressure is modulated and sent to the brake chambers, activating the braking mechanism to slow down or stop the vehicle. The brake pedal does not directly exert force on the slack adjusters or act as a footrest during normal driving. During normal operations, the parking and emergency brakes are usually held back by A. Air pressure, B. Spring pressure, C. Centrifugal force, D. Bolts or clamps. Answer A. During normal operations, the parking and emergency brakes are usually held back by air pressure. In an air brake system, these brakes are spring-applied and air pressure is used to release them. When the air pressure is sufficient, the spring force is counteracted, and the brakes are held in the released position. In the event of a loss of air pressure, the spring force takes over and applies the parking or emergency brakes to help ensure safety. Why should you not fan the brakes on and off during long downgrades? A. Air usage is less when fanning. B. Brake linings do not get hot when fanning. C. The short time off the brakes does not allow for brake cooling. D. None of the above. Answer C. You should not fan the brakes on and off during long downgrades because the short time off the brakes does not allow for sufficient brake cooling. Continuously fanning the brakes can lead to excessive heat buildup, which may result in brake fade or failure. Instead, use engine braking or an engine retarder to control your speed during long downgrades and apply the service brakes only when necessary to maintain a safe speed. Why must air tanks be drained? A. To prevent rust formation inside the tank. B. To maintain a constant air pressure. C. To remove moisture and contaminants. D. To reduce the weight of the vehicle. Answer C. Air tanks must be drained to remove moisture and contaminants that accumulate during the normal operation of an air brake system. Moisture and contaminants can lead to corrosion, compromised braking performance, and the risk of brake failure. Draining the tanks regularly helps maintain the efficiency and safety of the air brake system. What is a supply pressure gauge used for? A. Measuring brake application pressure. B. Indicating the air pressure available in the air tanks. C. Measuring tire pressure. D. Monitoring the temperature of the brake system. Answer B. A supply pressure gauge is used to indicate the air pressure available in the air tanks of a vehicle equipped with an air brake system. The gauge helps the driver monitor the pressure levels and ensure that there is sufficient air pressure to operate the brakes effectively and safely. Adequate air pressure is crucial for proper braking performance, and maintaining the correct pressure levels helps prevent brake failure and accidents. What are spring brakes? A. Brakes that use coiled springs to apply pressure on brake shoes. B. Brakes that use air pressure to release powerful springs for braking action. C. Brakes that use leaf springs to create a smoother ride. D. Brakes that use air pressure to compress springs for braking action. Answer B. Spring brakes are a type of air brake system component commonly found on commercial vehicles. They serve as both parking brakes and emergency brakes. Spring brakes use powerful springs that are held in the released position by air pressure when the vehicle is in operation. In case of air pressure loss or when the parking brake is engaged, the air pressure is released, and the springs apply force to the brake shoes, creating a braking action. This ensures that the vehicle can be stopped safely in case of an emergency or parked securely when not in use. How do you know if your vehicle is equipped with anti-lock brakes? A. Look for an ABS indicator light on the dashboard. B. Check for the presence of a brake fluid reservoir. C. Listen for a distinctive clicking sound during braking. D. Measure the stopping distance of the vehicle. Answer A. To determine if your vehicle is equipped with anti-lock brakes, ABS, look for an ABS indicator light on the dashboard. When you start your vehicle, the ABS light should briefly illuminate and then turn off, indicating that the system is functioning properly. If the ABS light stays on or begins to flash while driving, it could signal a problem with the anti-lock braking system. The presence of an ABS light indicates that your vehicle is equipped with anti-lock brakes, which can help maintain steering control and prevent wheel lockup during hard braking or on slippery surfaces. What are slack adjusters? A. Devices that maintain the tension of the brake shoes on the drum. B. Components that adjust the distance between brake pads and rotors. C. Components that connect the air brake chamber to the brake shoes or pads. D. Devices that compensate for the wear of brake linings. Answer: C. Slack adjusters are crucial components in an air brake system, connecting the air brake chamber to the brake shoes or pads. They serve to convert the linear force produced by the brake chamber's pushrod into a rotational force, which is then applied to the brake camshaft, expanding the brake shoes or compressing the brake pads against the drum or rotor. Slack adjusters also play a role in maintaining the correct clearance between the braking surfaces as the brake linings wear. There are two types of slack adjusters, manual and automatic. Manual slack adjusters require periodic manual adjustments by the operator, while automatic slack adjusters self-adjust as needed to maintain proper brake clearance. How can you test the low-pressure warning signal? A. Apply the service brakes and check for an audible warning. B. Turn off the engine and pump the brake pedal until the warning activates. C. Depress the brake pedal rapidly and observe the gauge for sudden pressure drop. D. Drain air from the tanks until the warning signal activates. Answer: B. To test the low-pressure warning signal in a vehicle equipped with air brakes, follow these steps. Turn off the engine. Release the parking brake. Pump the brake pedal repeatedly. As you pump the brake pedal, the air pressure in the system will drop. When the pressure falls below a certain level, typically around 60 psi, the low-pressure warning signal should activate, usually in the form of an audible alarm, visual warning light, or both. This test ensures that the warning signal is functioning correctly, alerting you to low air pressure situations that could potentially lead to brake failure. What are the maximum leakage rates for an air brake system? A. 1 psi per minute for a single vehicle and 2 psi per minute for a combination vehicle. B. 2 psi per minute for a single vehicle and 3 psi per minute for a combination vehicle. C. 3 psi per minute for a single vehicle and 4 psi per minute for a combination vehicle. D. 4 psi per minute for a single vehicle and 5 psi per minute for a combination vehicle. Answer: B. The maximum allowable air leakage rates for an air brake system depend on the type of vehicle. For a single vehicle, such as a truck or bus, the maximum leakage rate is 2 psi per minute after an initial pressure drop. For a combination vehicle, such as a tractor-trailer, the maximum leakage rate is 3 psi per minute after an initial pressure drop. Exceeding these rates indicates a potential problem with the air brake system, which could lead to reduced braking performance or brake failure. Regularly checking for air leaks and maintaining the system can help ensure the safety and proper operation of the vehicle. If your truck has a properly functioning dual air brake system and minimum size air tanks, the air pressure should build from 85 to 100 psi within seconds. A. 30 seconds. B. 45 seconds. C. 60 seconds. D. 90 seconds. Answer: B. 45 seconds. If your truck has a properly functioning dual air brake system and minimum size air tanks, the air pressure should build from 85 to 100 psi within 45 seconds.